Good afternoon. I'm going to speak about Shakespeare, but I'm going to start a little bit further back on the timeline. Imagine, if you will, the great Greek hero Theseus sailing into a harbor in Athens, having completed his voyages out in the world. On the shore behind him, he leaves behind his famed 30-oar ship, which the people of Athens decide to enshrine as a memorial to him. Eventually, some of the wooden parts begin to rot and are gradually replaced by identical but new parts, oar by oar, plank by plank. After a century or so, every part of Theseus' ship has been replaced, and yet Theseus' ship still sits on the shore where he left it. So is the ship in the harbor still Theseus' ship? And if not, at which point did Theseus' ship stop being Theseus' ship? This thought experiment, known as the Ship of Theseus, introduces a considerable metaphysical problem of identity, an area in which I, as a theater maker, believe it or not, spend a lot of time. This paradox begs of us to answer a few questions. What exactly defines an object? How do these objects we've given definition to survive change over time? What ensures that survival? And most importantly, to my colleagues and I, how do we as storyteller scholars contribute to that survival? In an attempt at preserving our identity, we, like the people of Athens did for Theseus, have crafted a carefully curated memorial, one we call the Canon. It is by no means a perfect system. It is pockmarked with exclusion, and it favors white, male, Western voices over all others. Yet for so long, it's been the means by which our species, Homo fabula, the storytellers, have protected our understanding of ourselves against the ravages of time. However, for many, the rotting planks of the canon are not replaced frequently enough. In response, the emergent field of critical reinterpretation of the canon has empowered contemporary scholars and practitioners like myself to wield the preserved texts themselves as self-reflexive tools with which we can question these stories' very fitness for survival. In January 2010, American linguist John McWhorter published a controversial but nonetheless salient essay entitled "It's Time to Translate Shakespeare into Contemporary English," in which he made a Plutarchian argument regarding the mutability of the English language over time, which is to most observers a gradual evolutionary process with no discrete boundaries, much like the replacement of the planks on Theseus' ship. As he says, quote, "There are no trumpet fanfares or ending credits in the sky as Old English passes into Middle English, as Middle English passes into Shakespeare's English, or as Shakespeare's English passes into our English." Thus, the question is, how far back on a language's timeline can we consider the language to be the one that modern audiences speak, end quote. Or more simply put, just when does Shakespeare stop being Shakespeare? Over the past 6 years, 3 projects around the country have cropped up in response either directly or indirectly to McWhorter's call, each committed to rewriting the entire Shakespearean canon for contemporary American audiences. I've been closely following these trio of initiatives, interviewing the creative minds at each organization, and documenting the various goals, rules, timetables, and lenses through which the plays are to be reinvented. For Play On Shakespeare, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival commissioned a diverse list of 36 professional playwrights to pair up with dramaturgs and take a plank-by-plank approach to translating individual plays, urging them to first do no harm and replace only the words or phrases that impede modern comprehension. Shakespeare's New Contemporaries at the American Shakespeare Center, on the other hand, is structured as a 20-year contest aimed at opening their Blackfriars Playhouse up to a new generation of playwrights. It seeks to produce an adjacent canon of 38 entirely new companion pieces, plays that are in conversation with or inspired by Shakespeare's original texts. Meanwhile, the Rude Mechs have thrown all caution to the wind, using their company's collectivist punk rock ethos of committing the sin of ruining something to build their own ship entirely by reconfiguring Shakespeare's least produced works with no fidelity to the original texts. One of my favorite lines of Shakespeare's work comes from Ophelia in Hamlet. She says, "We know what we are, but know not what we may be." After 400 years of performance and scholarship, I would say that we know pretty well what Shakespeare is. But through these 3 projects, I look forward to finding out what Shakespeare might yet become.